How we doing, guys? Dwayne with Preferred Gaming and Trade. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about our first video of how to open a game store. We're going to start going through everything from picking out fixtures, display counters, to the finance aspect of it, to the tax aspect of it, to what it looks like, to what it'll do for you financially, what you're expecting it to do. So we're going to cover a lot of stuff. Today I really want to discuss being prepared to open a game store. Finances are probably the major thing. I've been around for about a year now, which doesn't seem like a lot of time. There's been a lot of shifts around me with stores, a couple new stores popping up, stores selling, changing hands, that sort of thing. I even went to an auction about 150 miles north of me. There was a game store, they called it an auctioneer. They had sold a lot of their product, and what they couldn't sell in store and deeply discount, they brought an auctioneer in to liquidate it because they were just absolutely done with it. This was a nice place. It wasn't a cheesy, cheap, didn't look like some down dungeon-y type basement card store. This had its own parking lot. It wasn't part of a strip mall. Nice area, nice location, nice road frontage, nice signage. Really, really nice area. So I talked with those guys at length after the auction. I bought a few things for my store and sat down and was able to spend some time with them and say, hey, why did you guys close? What was the pros? What were the cons? What did you guys start out with? And they gave me a lot of insight. So between my background in business, because I do own another business, I've been a business owner for over 10 years in a different industry, bringing that into the Magic the Gathering collectible card game type business, I was able to bring a lot of insight in and have a little bit maybe different opinion than what you're going to hear out there from other YouTube videos. You know, we always reference Rudy from Alpha Investments. Rudy says, don't do this, you're not going to like it. He's wrong. You can like it. You can want to do it. You just have to be prepared for the reality of what it is. I think in this day and age, you know, there's a shift with Magic the Gathering, with the Wizards, with the arena format, with the online format that they're kind of pushing towards. And, you know, people sometimes think it's in opposition to paper Magic. I don't think that's the case at all. It can be in addition to. It's like practicing, you know, by yourself with a basketball court at home, you know, practicing daily at home, which would be like your arena simile there, you know, your parallel to arena versus, you know, playing in the big game on Saturday with the team. And I think that's kind of how you have to view this. I don't think paper Magic's going to go anywhere. So if you're looking at opening a game store, we're going to go over some things. The first one, you're going to need some cash. You're not only going to need some cash to buy fixtures, you're going to need some cash to set up your business, accounting, all that stuff. You just need cash to sit on, to live on. So you're going to have to really figure out your monthly expenses. You know, how much do I make a month at my job? So if you made like $2,000 a month at your job, you know, you probably want to save like a year's worth of salary for yourself. So you probably want to save $24,000 and set it aside for yourself to live on and not expect the gaming store to bring you anything for that first year. If the gaming store makes any money that first year, you're going to want to hold on to that. You're going to want to use it to expand your inventory or just sit on. I think a lot of times people get so caught up in expanding and in buying this or buying that or seeing what's out there to put their money into that they're not comfortable just sitting on their money. And I think a lot of times when we have a boom in Magic, when you have this big uptick that you see, you know, War of the Spark was this huge, crazy thing, this big uptick. Ravnica was even bigger. For me, I'm very limited in my experience. But Ravnica came out, we sold, I don't know, 100 and 200 boxes, whatever it was, very, very quickly with Guilds of Ravnica, which wasn't common. We had never done that since we had opened, although we only opened like less than 6 months prior. But if I had kept that same thinking that we're going to sell 100 or 200 boxes or whatever it is of the next set as soon as it comes out, I would have been sorely, sorely disappointed. So I think when you are making cash in that first year, I wouldn't initially reinvest it because Magic may come out with a flat set that doesn't sell well and you might be sitting on product. And instead of fire selling it for cash flow or all these things, I think you want to hold on to that extra money. So I think it's very, very important that you set aside a year's salary, period, above and beyond what the store is going to cost you to open, what it's going to cost you to operate. You know, I would strongly encourage that first year that you run the store. If this is in your heart that I'm going to open a store, run it, live off that money. And I think you're going to be prepared to work that 6 or 7 days a week, whatever you're comfortable working with or for. Like, you know, plan on doing every single thing yourself and be okay with it, make terms with it prior to opening the store. I've not been in a lot of Magic the Gathering stores, but one reoccurring theme, I've done some transactions and I've bought some collections. I've bought some cards from people that were closing a game store, previously had a game store and had stuff left over, but the reoccurring theme was always they were very sour with the amount of money they made, and they were very sour at the amount of things they had to do on a daily basis, and yet still not see the money in their pocket. So I think from the very first day, from before you open those doors, I think you need to come to terms with that you may not make money off this thing for at least 1 year. If you can get a hold of that and be prepared for 60 or 70 hours a week to build something and not get paid for it, I think you can start to begin to run a successful Magic the Gathering collectible card game store, no matter where you are. Brings me to my second thing, location. There's a lot of books out there. I know Black Diamond Games, I don't remember the guy's name from that, but he had a book. I think I bought the book. I think I read 10 pages of the book. I think the guy runs a very successful game store somewhere out west. I think it's California, somewhere out that way. One of his big notes somewhere in the book, or maybe in his blog or something that I had picked up, was location was key, and I agree with him to a point. But if you're in an area that has a good Magic the Gathering community, that there isn't stores every 4 or 5 miles, if you can find an area where there's players, yet there's a vacuum, and you can open a store there, I think that's what you're looking for. I think you're going to try to do that. So location's going to be key, but you want to find a location where you feel like currently players are in the area, but they're not getting correctly serviced. One good indicator of that will be go to Walmart. As you walk through your local Walmart, if there's guys, there are 10, 12 guys walking past the gaming store aisle, and they're picking up packs, right? Because we all know, Walmart, at least in my area here in upstate New York, has, packs and boosters and bundles and Planeswalker decks. And, there's a lot of players that buy their Magic the Gathering products from Walmart. Nobody talks about it. It's like a hush-hush thing. But they all do it. We have players that come into my store and say, hey, I'm picking up, 10 packs of cards, and I was at Walmart yesterday. I picked up, a fat pack, a bundle of Magic the Gathering cards, and I'm like, geez, why'd you do that? They're more money than us, this and that. Well, it's proximity, and it's just available to them. They're already in Walmart, so it's very, very simple to grab. So one indicator to round back would be if you go to Walmart, you see guys in that aisle buying stuff, picking up stuff, consistently, it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of approach them. Hey, where do you usually go? Is this it? And that's going to be a very, very good indicator if there's a need in your area for a Magic the Gathering store. I think there's an opportunity, a very small one. I think the hardest road is to open a gaming store where you have very good competitors, where there's not an apparent need. I think that if you struggled long enough, hard enough, and were smart enough, you're going to succeed in that arena. But I think probably your money and time is better spent finding an area that's not currently serviced that does have Magic the Gathering players. Square footage, I've not been in a lot of gaming stores, but I've been in a few. And a lot of times they're very cramped, they're very small. I think that, to correctly run a gaming store, I think you would like to have around 2,000 square feet. I think anything else than that isn't going to give you proper room to display your stuff in a way that doesn't feel cramped and crowded. And the last thing you want to do is just have like piles of cards just sitting everywhere, messy, and then a really, really cramped small play area. I know there's some other stores around here that I haven't been in, but guys come in and say, geez, we played there, it was cramped, it was smelly. I think you really want 2,000 square feet so you can really display your product correctly, yet have room for players to play. So I think 2,000 square feet is really your minimum. I think probably you don't want to go much more than that. I mean, maybe 3,000 at your max. But I think, 6,000 or 7,000 or something that big would be absolutely bizarre. I'd be very, very worried about you being able to pay the bills, especially in this industry. I don't think this is a very high profit industry. It's more like a labor of love. So 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, guys, it's probably key. Anything above that, I think you're going to be hurt. Anything below that, I think that you get into like these 600, 800, square foot stores that are really cramped, everything's crammed together. And what happens if it takes off? What happens if you need more inventory? Then you're going to move an entire store. And I think the cost of moving a store, moving a location, regaining customers, regaining awareness, rebuying signs, I think all that stuff is really detrimental. So I would say if it's within your means in your area to start looking for stuff 2,000 square feet, and that's going to be really great. Thanks, guys.